Dear mothers and fathers, sons and brothers of the humanity, in the previous video we closed the historic grounds of the construction of the human order of Earth, both Eastern and Western, by the UN. In this video, I am submitting to you some proposal on the following direction: the search of acceptance, legitimation, integration and cultural promotion of the social guidelines of the democratic international state of law represented by the UN. Those responsible for this legitimation are precisely the powers and religions, philosophical, cultural forces, the scientific and humanistic of humankind. The instrumentation of cultural legitimation of the international state of law is in fact a necessary process for this construction. The organization and systematization of improvement and strengthening of the United Nations framework for international governance of the planet. Why? How the UN can get that strengthening and improvement? With money and technology, with publicity of assistance and services of UN agents, the use of military force? No, not from the historical point of view. From the historical point of view, the way for the organization obtain this training is not economic political and is not the military policy regime. It is the integration of the divine forces in its direction associated to the democratic and educational orientation of people, human families and governments of Earth for peace and the sustainability of life and justice on the planet. In fact, I dare say that without this integration, nothing that we can do in the planet in terms of technology, economic backgrounds or social assistance for sustainable development will be effective. And despite the efforts, the existing tools of international conflict resolution will not become effective. Simple like that. In this sense, I have 4 objective suggestions for present to the UN. The first is the UN to give complying to historical direction of alliance in consummation and its own post-2050 agenda. Officially ask the Vatican to assume the process of its cultural legitimation. More precisely, this: organize a joint conference with the leaders of the religions, philosophical and the scientific cultural traditions of Earth mobilized in Assisi, directed to accomplishment of these 2 actions planned. 1. The judgment of the legitimacy of the social guidelines of the international state of law by the Holy Spirit of the common faith, and 2. The integration of the divine force in building and democratic management of the international state of law, the international state of Earth in the next millennium. The foreign ministry of Brazil, Russia, India and China agreed that build a more democratic international system founded on the rule of law and multilateral diplomacy is an imperative of our time. The second is focus the required reform of the United Nations, especially its Security Council, on this process of integration. The third concerns the preparation of the conference. It is the UN bring together all the social guidelines of the international state of law for examination and legitimation. The 4. is structuring an operating draft of the integration of its forces in practical terms. The latter is a necessary step for the positive achievement of the conference, if requested by the UN. It is the basic element for the evaluation and alignment of the direction of the parties concerned, the basic elements for discussion and presentation of programs, proposal and counter-proposal of action. You may ask me, why the UN should propose this process to the Vatican or the Pope? There are at least three simple answers. 1. Because this process of integration has the potential to make of every religion and humanistic institution on the planet, an entity associated with the promotion, care and development of the social policies of the state of the earth, international law, on the formation of human dignity and cultural unity. In addition, this is the main resource for the UN advance to the implementation of its Agenda 2015. 2. Because the Global Action Plan on Education for Human Rights agrees with this position. The plan recorded this guideline as warning. A key challenge for the future is to enhance the universality of human rights by rooting these rights in different cultural traditions. The effective exercise of human rights is also contingent upon the degree of responsibility by individuals towards the community. 3. Because here and now it deals of running the organization, straining and central processing unity of the international state of law and of guidelines of Earth's cultural traditions, to the following goal registered by the UN in 1947, ensuring the orchestration of separate cultures, not into uniformity, but into unity in diversity, so that human beings are not imprisoned in their separate cultures, but can share in the reach of a single diversified world culture. Report of the Director General, 1947. On the other hand, what the current world situation indicates is that the Security Council needs less of more countries in its composition than of a religion's philosophical and humanistic global cultural representation in its structure, able to assume the spiritual human feature to the UN, given that the scientific, academic and educational representation the organization has. From the historical point of view, we have in favor of this position three social qualified commands that I must remind to you. The mandate of the Alliance of the Consummation to the Divine Force, whose guard is of the Vatican States. 2. The guideline declared by Divine Forces in Assisi, in meeting directed by the Vatican through the Popes John Paul II and Benedict XVI. And 3. The Sustainable Development Agenda post-2050 UN. In any case, there are a fact with that everyone can agree. The central action in the context of these commands have the same direction. Affirm the aptitude and competence, UN and divine strength to the extinction of the criminality, with a strong and authorized promotion of the training and human social organization to the dignity, honesty, peace and the eradication of criminal culture. The time for this task is now. And the requirement is this. In the next video, I will bring the public some proposal for action to facilitate the preparation of this possible UN conference with the divine forces. I believe that some proposals will be potentially useful in implementing the central objective of the construction of the human order of Earth post-Eastern and Western, the construction of the international state of Earth. To all, thank you for your invaluable attention.